Hello, welcome back to the Pages and Pearls YouTube channel. My name is Hannah. I am a German based in New York City and I have just come back from a 2-week vacation in Costa Rica. This is why it was a bit quieter here on this channel. I was traveling, I had a great time, and yeah, now I'm back. So in this video I want to do a little bit of a vacation wrap up, what I've been knitting on vacation style video, but then also take you along with me throughout the weekend. Today is Friday the 16th of June and we returned yesterday. We had a bit of complications on our flights, nothing major, just flight delays, and I am starting a new job on Monday. It's a temporary job, it's a summer job, and it involves me commuting quite a bit because it's not in New York City. So I still have quite some things to organize and prepare, and this video vlog is kind of a bit of a prep situation as well. So just me doing some life admin, getting all my stuff organized in preparation for this job, and I'll take you along with me, and obviously there'll be some knitting because this is predominantly a knitting YouTube channel. So yeah, don't fear, there'll be that as well. So as I said, we went to Costa Rica and I actually tried to film a bit there, but I had my camera with me, and in Costa Rica, at least where we were staying, there were these beautiful eco lodges in the middle of nature, and the wildlife there and the bird life also is breathtaking. But that also had the caveat that when I tried to record a video and I watched it later, I noticed that you could barely hear me because the sort of like chirping and all the noises of the birds and birdsong and everything was kind of loud, and my voice went over it, but I don't think it would be very pleasant to watch, so I'm not gonna show you that, but I will put in a bit of footage here and there that of like short little clips that I took throughout the holidays, so you can see for yourself how breathtaking and wonderful this country is. And I will just give you a little bit of an info of what I've been knitting on here, rather than, I was trying to make it into a vlog, but obviously that didn't work properly. So I'll do that first, and then I'll just go about my weekend and take you along. So we stayed in Costa Rica for 2 weeks. We traveled around quite a bit, mostly like backpacking. We didn't rent a car or anything, and we stayed in several places around 3 nights each. Partially in the mountains, so we could do lots of hiking in the jungle also. We did some ziplining, which was, I wasn't scared in the moment, but it was pretty intense. And we did lots of guided hikes and tours, so that we had someone knowledgeable there that had studied biology and the history of the area and everything to explain us several things. And gave the benefit that they often had quite nice equipment with which we could observe animals that were like higher up in the trees a little bit better. Let me tell you, it's not cheap to travel to Costa Rica, especially if you do these sort of outdoor activities and guided hikes, but it was definitely worth it. The first thing, and also the more productive thing that I was working on, is a sock that I am knitting for my partner. I picked up this yarn. It's the Hedgehog Fibers merino sock base. I think it's 90% merino, 10% nylon, and this is the trail colorway, which is an exclusive colorway to the Argyle yarn shop in Brooklyn. I picked it up during the Brooklyn yarn crawl. It wasn't a Brooklyn yarn crawl colorway, but I think it's just for this particular shop. And I love this yarn because it has these sort of like it has this variegation between some cream bits, and then you also have these like coffee and like light brown, and in between there's always a little bit of a, like just a tad of a colored speckle, as you can see here with this like red pinkish one. And in the sock, I'm gonna show it to you in a moment how far I am and how the yarn looks when you knit it up. But in the sock, these little speckles come out beautifully, and I also loved working on this sock while traveling in a country that has, because of the rainforest and because of their coffee plantations and everything, there were so many earthy, brown, nice tones around, so the colorway felt very fitting in this context. And ta-da! Here is the sock. This is how far I've got, which is not a huge progress over 2 weeks, but again, knitting wasn't my priority during these 2 weeks. So I'll give you a bit of a close-up. Here you can see this nice variegation, and then you can also see these like tiny speckles of orange. I think in the heel flap there are also some lighter colors here, which are very nice. And yeah, this is just a vanilla sock with a heel flap and gusset. I'm doing a slip stitch heel, and what I did was a 2x2 ribbed cuff, and then I put in these 3 contrast color stripes in white. For this I used Cascade Heritage. I think it's the colorway is limestone, but I'm not entirely sure. It's like a white color that I had from a colorwork project. I just wanted to give it a little bit of an extra contrast here. And now I'm just, I finished the leg, finished the heel, and now I'm just doing my heel decreases here. And then I still have the whole foot to knit, obviously, and I think I'm gonna do the toe again in this white color. It was quite enjoyable to knit this. I'm not very good at knitting on not good at knitting on buses or cars because I get nauseous quite easily. So quite a bit of this was done on the plane rides, and then here and there in the evenings or in coffee places. One time we kind of got stuck because it started raining so much that we had to wait for a bit after coming out of the supermarket, so I had this with me and it was nice to knit on. And yeah, it's a very enjoyable project. I'm enjoying it a lot, and obviously I still have the second sock to knit, but I think this is just gonna be my sock project for the foreseeable future, the sort of like easy throw in my bag and take with me project. So this was my main knitting. Then the other thing that I was busy with, I took this little pouch as well with me with some needles and interchangeable needles and my stitch markers that I keep in this old like Tic Tac, sorry, it's the wrong way around, old Tic Tac box. I just have a bunch of stitch markers, these ones, and also some brass or like metal ones here, and then my cable connector if I want to try something on, tapestry needle, all of that stuff that we need. So I had this with me, this little pouch just with some extra knitting needles and cables, and then in this project bag, I took some yarn with me, and that is the Knitting for Olive Pure Silk in the colorway Putty that I had bought 3 balls of because I am participating in a test knit. The test knit is by Andrea Gone, and it's the Gallax test. It's a tank top, beautiful tank top. I talked a bit about this in my previous podcast episode, and I took it with me to get started on the test knit, but I didn't get very far, so I have to get cracking kind of. That's one of the things that I also have planned for the weekend. I mean, I still have time. I have not quite, almost a month, and I think that should be fine. What I did manage was to make a gauge swatch during my vacation. The needle size did not quite work out, so I did another one, and because this pattern has a beautiful lace pattern on the front and on the back of this tank top, I also started practicing the lace. This is all a bit tangled, that's why it's taking me so long to get out. So the lace, let's see, maybe I should have prepared this beforehand, but whatever. So I just started practicing the lace here. You cannot see so much yet, but basically I still have to block this obviously, but you have these like little nubs that you make that don't come out super well yet, and that's the reason I'm practicing, so that I can make them stand out a bit nicer. And then yeah, let's see also how it changes with blogging. But my goal for this weekend is to finish practicing the day's work and actually cast on the project, so I can prioritize that over the next weeks. And yeah, after knitting this first gauge swatch with the recommended needle size, I'm now with a European, well, a 3mm needle. I think that's maybe a 2.5, US 2.5, I'm not sure. So it's quite a small needle project, so it's gonna take me some time, but I'm really looking forward to it. The silk yarn is a bit dry, I think, which is common for basically all or almost all summer fibers. So it did take me some getting used to, but it's fine, especially with the metal needles. It goes much better than with wooden needles. Yeah, so that's the other project that I worked on, which again, not so much, but that was fine. I mean, we were busy doing other things. And now that I'm back, I already ran a few errands of things that I had to do. I unpacked. I started packing my bag because, again, I'm leaving on Sunday, and I went to the groceries to pick up a few things to take with me, because I will be staying in an Airbnb for around 5 days where I don't have a proper kitchen. So yeah, just picked up a few things to take with me, and I will probably also do a separate vlog once I'm there, and then I can talk a little bit more about my experience there. So I think that's about it for the rest of the day. I have several things to do still. The program that I'm participating in, or the job that I'm doing basically, it's a pre-college program. So I'm going to be teaching psychology and neuroscience to teenagers. And I already had a look at the curriculum and at the first session, but I just wanted to get a bit more organized on what I need to print, what I need to prepare a bit better, and those kind of things. And then other things I need to do is I wanted to go to the library, pick up a book that I have on hold, or had on hold, that I want to take with me to read during the next week. Again, get some more knitting done, and I think that's about it. I've been talking for quite a while now, so I think I'm going to stop here, and I'll just take you along with me throughout this weekend. I got quite a lot of the stuff done for today that I had set out for myself to do. Not everything though, and I'm just making a list for tomorrow now to move over some of the things that I didn't get to today. And yeah, that's me getting organized. Park now because I'll meet my friends at the museum, and I can just cross the park. It rains, so it's a very fresh, crisp air, and yeah, looking forward to walk a bit and breathe in the city again. Although with the questionable New York smells, maybe the breathing in shouldn't be taken too literally. wanted to quickly check in with you. It is Saturday now, in the afternoon already, 3 p.m. I was mostly busy this morning doing some admin stuff, sending out some applications, and each and every application just takes super long if you want to, I don't know, adjust the CV and the cover letter and everything. So yeah, but I got a few applications off my list, so that's a success. And now I think I'm gonna get to some of the other things I wanted to do. Definitely wanted to pick up my book at the library, as I mentioned yesterday already. And I am thinking maybe also to go to the bookshop, because a book that I've been eagerly awaiting has been released last week, and while we were still in Costa Rica, and that's Love Theoretically by Hazelwood. You might know her from Love on the Brain or from The Love Hypothesis. Those are her first two rom-com novels, and I enjoyed both of them a lot, especially The Love Hypothesis. I just love her representation of academia, women in academia, and to me the books are super precious because they come from someone who works in the environment, and just seeing all these quirks and often really frustrating aspects of academia in a book like that is at the same time comforting and light, and it always soothes me a lot. So those books were really instrumental in soothing me and like comforting me during the PhD. So it's really cool that a new book is out, and I'm thinking of maybe going to the bookshop and picking that up so I can also take it with me. Not sure if I actually want to carry that many books around. Might also leave it for next weekend. Let's see. I will walk past the bookshop on my way to the library anyway, so that's always a dangerous part. And I still have a gift card, so yeah. I think the question is more like, do I buy it today or will I buy it when I'm back in New York next week? Let's see. And yeah, other than that, as I said, mostly not super fun, more like admin stuff that I did. I did continue a little bit with my sock. I am now done with the decreases after the heel flap and gusset, so now it's just smooth sailing from here on, just knitting in the round to the length that I needed. And then I also completed my swatch my second swatch, pattern swatch for the test knit that I'm participating in. It's currently blocking, and I hope that it dries soon because it's a quite small piece of fabric and it's in the sun. So I hope that I can measure the gauge later, and then depending on whether it's good, that I can actually finally cast on today, because I kind of wanted to get set up with the project, cast on, get started, so I can just take it with me tomorrow on the train rather than taking all the materials with me and then having to cast on there. But let's see if I manage. I wanted to show you briefly the other thing. I packaged everything before I left in these plastic bags just to make sure that no moths or like carpet beetles or anything would get to my yarn while I was away. And so this is a project that I was working on before the holiday that I didn't take with me. I know, actually these are socks in here. Here we go. This is the one that I wanted to talk about. Too many things. So I was working on this top before leaving, and it is really, really close to finishing, but I did put it, I put it on hold, but just like with these stitch holders, so I could just attach my needles here and could easily continue that way. But basically, this is a t-shirt, just re-screwing the cable stopper. So this is a t-shirt that is knit bottom up. I talked a little bit about this in my last podcast, and I'm also going to show you too much now, so I have a bit more to talk about in my next podcast episode. But basically, this is a t-shirt. I'm done with the front part. Still have to, I think, knit just a few rows on the back and then join them. And then for the sleeves, it's actually just ribbing, because it's a sort of, it's not really a cap sleeve, but yeah, I don't have to do a lot for the sleeves or for the collar. So this project is super far already, so I'm not sure right now if I want to cast on the test knit so I have it ready to go and take with me, or if I prefer to spend my energy on the next tricky steps of this project, because I think, just because I haven't picked it up in more than 2 weeks, I need to think a bit about where I was and see how much I still need to knit off the back. I'm always really like hesitant and take my time, take days even to put like the back and the front together, because I'm always super unsure if my measurements are correct and that the sides are like equally long. So this is also something that I still need to do. And again, just I love these colors. It's a bit crinkled up right now, but so like pastel-y, and I love it. I really want to wear this. So maybe this will be a thing that I still do. I'm not sure. I don't have a ton of time today left because we're meeting with friends again later, and yeah, let's see. But anyways, that's all that I think I have to say. No, one more thing. I went to the Met with friends, and we went to a special exhibition that they have at the moment called Cypresses, and it's about the cypresses of Vincent van Gogh. And it's cool. It was really cool. It was a really cool exhibition. I mean, I love his paintings anyways, but this exhibition that was really around the cypresses and the evolution of them, how he started studying them, it was super well made. The paintings were amazing, and seeing some of them next to each other, the way they had assembled everything, also was a really cool experience, and made me think a lot. And yeah, it was just really nice. So if you live in New York City, if you live around the city somewhere, if you're visiting in the next month, I think it's running until mid-August or so. Basically, if you have the possibility to go, I would really recommend it, especially if you are into his art anyways. And yeah, that was a really cool experience, and it made me very glad to live somewhere where I can just go to the museum and see things like this, because yeah, it's always super inspiring. And I was really grateful for that. So that's just my little stint into my into the things that I did yesterday. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna stop filming now and go to the library, so at least I can tick one more thing off my list and get outside, because I haven't been outside today yet. Talk a little bit about the books that I got, plural, yes. Well, should never go to a bookshop with a gift card and a discount, and well, anyways, I didn't go to the Strand. It's just, this is the bag that I took with me, and I got 3 books. Well, I got one from the library, and I purchased 2 books. So this is the lovely stack. And I'm going to start off with a library book. So this book is called Really Good Actually. It's by Monica Heisey, I don't know. And it was released in April of this year, and I've been eyeing it since then. The hold list in the library was insanely long, but I think it'll be worth it. I'll keep you updated, obviously. And I think this is about a 20-something, like 28-year-old, 29-year-old PhD student whose PhD thesis is going nowhere, and she's recently divorced. And I think it's just one of those sort of millennial novels of, yeah, young women that are trying to find their way in life and are probably a bit disenchanted with the world and how it works. And So it sounds very much like something that I actually read. I read a number of novels like this, some better, some not so good, but I always really like to read about other PhD students, seeing how they experienced the whole thing, and maybe getting like, yeah, emphasizing with some snark about academia is always good. So I'm really curious about this one. I think that'll be the first book that I read, because of course I'm on a deadline with the 2 or 3 week hold that I have. So yeah, that's really good actually, by Monica Heisey. And then the other 2 books that I got were actually, yeah, books that I now own. And then we have Love Theoretically by Hazelwood, which is the book that I was talking about before that I actually wanted to buy. And I'm really looking forward to this. I think it's about, or not I think, it's about a theoretical physicist named Elsie, and she's an adjunct professor and teaching, overworking most likely, and not getting paid enough for it. And to make up for the low or non-existent paycheck, she sets up a sort of escort fake dating business to sort of like supplement her income. And I think she ends up meeting a brother of a client, and the brother is actually in her department, so knows her actual background. And all of that results, of course, in some problems and shenanigans and whatever. Trusting Hazelwood, this will be fun and heartfelt, so I'm really looking forward to read it. And then, lastly, this was a more spontaneous buy. I've heard about this book before, but I wasn't planning on buying it, actually. So this is Yellowface by Kuang. This author has written the Poppy War trilogy and also Babel, or Babel, I guess depends on the country for the pronunciation, which came out last year. She has mainly written fantasy so far, and I've read 2 books of hers, Babel and the Poppy Wars, the first one, and I enjoyed both of them. I had some issues with it to some extent. I always really like her ideas and her creativity, but somehow I find the execution sometimes a bit lackluster. But this book, Yellowface, is about the literary industry. This is basically about an author who sort of steals an unfinished manuscript of her former best friend who passes away, and pretends that it's her own. But the catch is that this author who passed away was a superstar, Asian American, and the person who's the main character in this book and steals this manuscript is white, and sort of changes her name to be a persona that she isn't. And yeah, I just find it super interesting because it sounds like unlikable characters and a fun insight into the cutthroat literary world. And I always love reading books about authors also. So because I had predominantly good experiences with let's hope you can hear me over the sirens, or maybe let's wait for them to pass. Alright, I think they're almost gone. So because I had previously good experiences with this author, and because the waitlist in the library is extremely long and I'm really curious about this, I bought this book. Yeah, and I hope I'll get to reading it soon. And that's it for my little book haul. As I said, I will probably start with really good actually, but I am currently still reading another book. I'm on NetGalley, which is this book review advanced reading platform, and I am reading The Long Game on there by Elena Armas. This author has previously published The Spanish Love Deception and The American Roommate Experiment, which are both really cute and fun rom-coms. I love those 2 books of hers. I don't know if you have read them, but this one is the new one, The Long Game. It's about football, so European football, soccer in America, but I really dislike saying the word soccer. Anyways, is about, yeah, that's basically the topic, and it has been compared to sort of the sweet vibes of Ted Lasso. And yeah, knowing how cute she writes her romances, but also really slow burn, so it'll take a while for the chemistry to develop. I'm expecting really good things, so that's the one that I'm currently reading. But yeah, I think I'm about 25% in or so, and I'm quite enjoying it so far. I'm not loving it as much as the previous two so far, but maybe that'll still change. And when I'm done with that book, then I'll get started with these ones. Alright, I'm gonna get back to knitting, I think. I continued with my t-shirt, so hopefully I can knit the last, I don't know, I think I need 6 more rows to have the same length for the front and back. So hopefully I can get there today still. Maybe attempt the bind off to join the shoulders. Let's see, because that's the first time that I can actually try it on, because it's a bottom-up construction, so I haven't been able to try it on. So it would actually be pretty cool to bind that off, or like, yeah, to do the shoulder bind off today, so I can try it on for the first time. Let's see if I manage. We also have friends coming over later for dinner and maybe to watch some film, so I don't have a ton of time left, but yeah, probably knit and put on something on Netflix. But yeah, I would be curious to hear if you've read any great books recently, what you're currently reading, if you've heard about any of the ones that I showed you. Yeah, because I always love talking about books and would be curious about that. Just finished the bind off and joining the shoulders, so I'm gonna try on the t-shirt for the first time. Okay, so here we are. I just put this on. It is, as I said before, the Lotus, or did I say it before? Lotus Petal Top by Iris Hardage, who is H Iris Knits over on Instagram and Ravelry, and you can see here that it has this lace detailing at the bottom, which I really love knitting, by the way, and I also love the look of it, although of course it rolls up quite a bit right now. I think a good block will improve this, and yeah, I like it. I really like it. I think the blocking, because this is 100% superwash merino, I think the blocking will make it grow a bit, which I'm not opposed to. I mean, I think like this is already fine, but I would like a little bit more length. I knit it exactly according to pattern when it comes to the length, but I gave myself a little bit larger armholes because I'd seen comments on Ravelry that people found it a bit too tight under the arms. So yeah, now I just have to add a little bit of ribbing here and a bit of ribbing here. It's technically a t-shirt, I think, because if it grows lengthwise, you will have a little bit more coverage of the arms, but to be honest, I don't really care so much if it stays like more tank top style or turns more into a t-shirt. The only thing that I'm looking forward to, of course, is for this edge to straighten out, but I'm also quite happy with the length because I wear a lot of high-waisted shorts, skirts, jeans, whatever, so I think this hits pretty much perfect at where I want it to hit. So this is really cool. I've been working on this for like, actually it didn't take me so long, like 2 weeks before we left and now another day, maybe a bit more than 2 weeks. So yeah, but because we were on holiday for such a long time, I haven't picked this up in a while, and it's really rewarding to finally get to try it on for the first time, so that's really cool. Yeah, let's see if I maybe pick up the stitches. Originally my plan was not to take this with me for the week, but now I'm kind of eager and motivated to get it finished so I can block it and try it out. So yeah, that's this. Hello. I have, well, this is not the main bag that I'm taking, but I have my bag all packed. It is Sunday afternoon now and I have to leave. I don't really feel like it, but I think that's, yeah, it's nerves. I haven't been teaching in a classroom in a while. It was mostly online, obviously, because of the pandemic, so I have to adjust to it a bit now. It'll be fine, I guess, I hope, let's see. And I think that's all I have to say for this vlog. I'm not taking my Lotus Petal top, the one that I just showed you. I did pick up the stitches for the collar already and did like a few rounds for the ribbing, but I didn't complete it yet. And seeing how full my backpack is and seeing that I have to carry it, I probably shouldn't add more, although it would be nice to actually finish it now that I started. Maybe I can squeeze it in, let's see. But yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna wrap up the vlog here. I hope you enjoyed this, although I feel like I was a bit all over the place, but I did get everything done that I needed to get done, and that was the main goal. Prepared for next week, printed all the stuff that I had to print, unpacked, packed again, sent out a bunch of applications, picked up some books. I didn't do a lot of reading this weekend, but that's fine. On the holiday I read a lot. Now on the train I have some time. And I did get a bit of knitting done, although I also would have liked to do more of that. But again, I'll have time for that now. I'm gonna be working mostly mornings, tiny bit of the afternoon, and then the rest of the day I have free time. I want to make some progress with my book, and I also obviously want to knit and read as much as possible. And who knows, maybe I'll take you along with me on a weekly vlog, or not weekly, but like on a vlog for the work week. But I'm gonna stop this one here for now, and if you like this vlog, please consider liking it, and if you want more of this type of content, or you want to be notified right away whenever I put it up, then consider subscribing. And as always, I'm really happy whenever you leave comments and I get to chat with you in the comments. Yeah, I'm not gonna push you to do any of that by any means, of course. I'm just really grateful you're here and you're watching this, and yeah, that's about it. I hope you have a good rest of the week whenever you're watching this, and that you are happy and healthy, or as happy and healthy as, yeah, we all can be, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.